Hello crafty friends, I'm Lien from Studio Cato and I'm so glad you're joining me again today. Today is another Casual Friday here on my YouTube channel and I made a casual Christmas card today. It was really quick to make, I spent a little less than an hour on it and I think it would be great for mass production as well if you make a lot of the same Christmas cards. I'm going to be using my alcohol markers again, so I stamped this image from the Mama Elephant Santa Baby stamp set in Memento Tuxedo Black ink, which is an alcohol marker friendly ink. And of course I stamped it onto Clairefontaine DCP 250 GSM cardstock. This is great cardstock for alcohol markers and for ink blending, although it's not a traditional card making cardstock, it's just regular printing paper. So it comes quite cheap. If you're in Europe, you can easily find this in any stationery shop or any stationery supplier online. So this is a great alternative option if you're on a budget. And whenever I am coloring, I like to go from dark to light, especially with these markers, because it makes the blending a lot smoother, in my opinion, than if I would go from light to dark. Usually to smooth out my blending, I also add a couple of extra layers on top of each other, and that will make for a smooth, nice blend. But for these reds, I found that wasn't necessary. The only reason I added an extra layer on top of it was to darken up the shadows. To get nice shading in the skin tone, I did add a little bit of brown as well. I have a really hard time figuring out a nice skin tone blend with these Decotime twin markers, so if anyone has some recommendations, I'd be happy to hear them in the comments below. I think this one worked out pretty well though. For all of the white accessories on their clothing, I am using some cream tones because I want the beard of Santa and the hair of Mrs. Claus, I guess, to be gray, so I didn't want to add gray accents on their clothing as well. And I really like how that cream accent thing turned out. It adds a really warm tone to the entire image, and I also used some warm grays for their hair, and that made it all look pretty vintage, I think, with the cream accents. And once that's all colored in, just finishing up the heart there in the middle, I can fussy cut that out and start working on my backdrop. And for that, I am working on a die cut piece of craft cardstock. The die just adds a fun stitched detail edge to that, and I really like that as a nice touch to my clean and simple cards. And I masked off a ground layer, and then I can blend on some white pigment ink. And this is the pigment ink from Hero Arts. I really like it. It has great coverage and it blends smoothly like any pigment ink would. For my sentiment, I used a sentiment from the Sparkle and Shine sentiment stamp set by Reverse Confetti, and I stamped that on there with Versamark ink. And then I can heat emboss that with Wow Bright White Superfine embossing powder. To add dimension to this panel, I propped it up onto a piece of cardboard. I really like this. It's super stable, so it's a lot less likely to get squished in the mail than if you would put it up on foam tape. And it's lighter than if you would add the same amount of dimension with cardstock. To add just a little something of an embellishment and maybe some snowflakes, you could interpret it as snowflakes, I used some Nuvo embellishments. These are the Ivory Seashell color and I really like it. It's not bright white and it fits with any design. This is my most used Nuvo bottle. And of course, I am making a matching envelope to this card. As per usual, it's super simple, and I am folding one with the We Are Memory Keepers 123 punch board out of some craft cardstock. But if you have envelopes laying around, you can just decorate those. You don't have to fold your own. I just like doing it. I'm reinforcing the score lines with my bone folder, and then I will add some adhesive to adhere that bottom flap together. Now I did get some measurements wrong, so I checked if my card would still fit, and it fits nicely, and the envelope is just a little longer than usual. I forgot that this paper is not perfectly A4 size, so I forgot to trim some of the edges off. Anyway, I stamped a Santa stamp, also by Mama Elephant, on there with Versamark ink and embossed that with white superfine embossing powder by Wow, and that finishes up the envelope. This stamp on the envelope was from a different stamp set. It's from the Santa's Sleigh stamp set, but as always, all the products I use will be listed down in the description below. I really like how this card turned out. Just craft and white cardstock with a pop of color for my Christmas cards is always fun. I really like red, craft, and white. It's just a beautiful, classy combination. And it's a really simple card to make. The coloring was really simple and the backdrop was done in seconds. I hope you like it too. If you did, make sure to leave a thumbs up on this video and leave your thoughts in the comments below. I would love to read them. And of course, you can also subscribe to my channel if you want to see more of my videos. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.